to empower women, and our voice matters.
Bitch.
Welcome to the Mom Bitch Podcast.
This episode of the Mom Bitch Podcast is brought to you by BTRNation.com. Hey there, amazing mamas. Are you ready to spice up your snacking routine and add a dash of fun to your day? Get ready to rock your taste buds with BTR Nation. Imagine this. You are juggling a million mom tasks and suddenly hunger strikes. But fear not, because BTR Nation is here to save the day. If you go to BTRNation.com right now, you can actually take a snack quiz. It is the coolest way to discover snacks that will make your mama heart sing. Are you fruity, chocolate, nutty, or maybe you're a combination of all of them like me? All you do is answer a few questions and voila, your snack perfection awaits. From protein-packed bars to guilt-free truffle cups and energizing boosting bites, BTR Nation has got everything a mama could dream of. And guess what? BTR Nation snacks are crafted with clean, wholesome ingredients, ensuring you snack like a mom boss and feel fantastic while taking on the world. Plus, did you know BTR Nation recently earned a spot on Forbes' list of 7 food and beverage brands positively impacting our planet and health with low sugar, low carb, low sodium, high protein, high fiber. So what are you waiting for? Head over to btrnation.com and enjoy, because we get 20% off and free shipping with code MOMBETCH. That's 20% off and free shipping with code MOMBETCH. Olga Moltchanova, welcome to the Mom Bitch Podcast.
Hi, ladies.
Hello. Tonight, we are going to be unleashing the wine enthusiast in all of us, because we have Olga and she is a wine expert. But you taught us something right off the bat.
I never knew this.
Yeah, before we get into it and you give us like your background and stuff, I have to ask the question. I introduced you as a sommelier and you said, no, I'm a wine expert. And technically sommeliers are only in restaurants. I had no idea. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. So sommelier is the proper term for the wine expert that's at the restaurant, who you consult on a wine list, who'll bring you your wine. That's the sommelier. And you have to go through rigorous training for that as well. If you're not actively working in a restaurant, or if you've never held that position before, it's kind of not polite to use that term.
Okay.
Out of respect to those who are actually working there. So anyone else is kind of, it can be wine expert, wine consultant, cork dork, whatever you want to call it.
That's awesome. I never knew that. That's really good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about you? What, inspired you to really just like dive deep into the wine industry? And then also tell us a little bit about like all of the education that you've gone through to get to this point, because I imagine it's not easy, right? Or everyone would do it.
The two kind of go hand in hand. I like to learn. I like to study, just part of my nature. And I always kind of had an affinity for wine because my father got me into it at an early age. Because my father kind of saw that I had older friends who he realized would be drinking earlier than I kind of was ready for. And he wanted to prepare me, to kind of like not drink the bottom barrel stuff. And he kind of tried to refine my tastes early on. And so he started telling me more about wine, and he started kind of giving me sips of wine with dinner when I was maybe like 12 or 13. And it kind of like planted a seed there. And just going forward, it kind of became something I was always aware of, like, okay, like wine should be good. Wine should be this, wine should be that. And then I had an opportunity to take like my first wine class. I think it was winter. I had friends that were taking cooking classes, and I was in the kind of the same program. And then I saw, I'm like, oh, what else do they have? I'm like, oh, they've got wine classes. And so I signed up for the intro wine class, and it was unbelievably fun. It was on a Friday night. It was after work.
Oh.
And I like raced there every Friday after work. It was so much fun. It helped that we had a really good instructor. So you need to have kind of somebody that isn't really enthusiastic about it, because that really catches on. And just learning how to taste and sampling. It was kind of the variety that we had that really kind of opens the doors very quickly. The fact that you get to try a lot of different wines, you get somebody telling you kind of what you should be smelling, kind of guiding you through it. And it just kind of, lit a fire in me that I'm like, this is unbelievably interesting. There's so much more to learn. There's so much to cover. And I just kind of started there as my first wine class. And then I kept going. And that was at like college. And so I looked into more in-depth wine classes, more kind of classes that give certifications. I signed up with the Wine and Spirit Education Trust. There are actually two main schools of wine education. The Court of Master Sommeliers and the Wine and Spirit Education Trust both have 5 levels. The Court of Master Sommeliers focuses more on food service, food pairings, that's kind of where your sommeliers go, like a restaurant industry. Whereas Wine and Spirit Education Trust, it's a little bit more broad, a little bit more in depth. You have your wine laws, you have your, if you want to license a German wine in Argentina, kind of really in-depth things like that. And in terms of tastings, it gets very, very complicated. But there's actually a documentary made about the Court of Master Sommelier, the level 5, the Master Sommelier exam. So the 2 highest levels is, Master of Wine for Wine and Spirit Education Trust and Master Sommelier for sommeliers. And they made a documentary called Somm. I think they have about 5 or 6 movies now. I think they've done like a TV channel. They're all fantastic. But the first one basically followed 5 guys who were studying for this exam. And it's, because I'm at level 4, and oh dear God, the lengths it took to get here. Like, oh my God. I don't think I can do level 5. I don't think I can do level and still be like a mom.
What's the difference between level 4 and level 5? Is there like another category of the test?
It's harder. It's a lot harder. For the tastings, you're actually expected to name the vintage, to name the year, ideally the vineyard, the grape varietal. You have to be very accurate. That's a blind tasting. Like we have blind tastings as well for level 4. We had them, and it's more. You can still get marks for like description, flavor profile. Like even if you're wrong on your guess, like you can still make up the marks elsewhere. But master wine, you got to know it. You got to know what the grape varietal is. You got to know where it's from. Like ideally the year. Like, oh, just talking about it makes me nervous.
What kind of wine are you drinking right now? It looks beautiful.
I am drinking a sparkling wine.
Ooh.
I'm drinking a 2017 Franciacorta. And Franciacorta is Italy's answer to champagne.
Oh.
It's made in the same method. It's not Prosecco, because Prosecco is made in a tank, in a stainless steel tank, whereas Franciacorta is made just like champagne. It's made at second fermentation, barrel aging, and it's delicious. It's so good.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I've ever tried that.
That's awesome that you were like brought into wine, and then it just became like a pivotal part of your life. That's really fascinating. And then the education piece is super interesting. I knew there was different levels, but I guess I never knew the difference between like sommelier and wine expert, and even the different type of levels between 1 through 5. That's pretty incredible.
Oh, it's a huge, huge difference. Yeah.
Okay, so we're kind of getting into spring and summer. How do us mamas just relax and enjoy our wine?
By the pool?
By a pool.
Ideally by the pool, yes.
With like maybe some like, I'm like daydreaming, maybe some like shirtless hunks. Just joking, James.
Just James is a shirtless hunk. For sure. Can you give us some advice on some good seasonal options for the spring and summer?
I mean, summer, you got to go rosé.
Yeah.
There's different kinds of rosé. A lot of rosé from California that was known as White Zinfandel. Not that. Don't drink that. It's cloyingly sweet. I don't even know. Like that. I remember that's the stuff that we drank in high school. We're like practicing
the college stuff.
Provençal rosé is kind of the gold standard from Provence. I think the brand that everybody knows the most now is Whispering Angel. And I think in the US, it's actually much more affordable than it is in Canada because of our, or at least Ontario, because of our monopoly. But Whispering Angel is kind of the standard for the kind of Provençal rosé style. It's so easy drinking because the acidity is very balanced. The flavors are kind of nice and mild. It's supposed to be like chuggable. And especially on a hot day, my God, that goes down like Gatorade. It's deadly. There's also, I have a favorite for summer, like for a really, really hot day. There's a Vinho Verde, which is from Portugal. It's a white from Portugal, but there's certain styles of Vinho Verde that have like a natural effervescence. They're not fully sparkling. They're just a little bit tingly. Like these just got a little bit of tingle there. There's one in particular I'm thinking of. It's called Gazella. The brand is called Gazella. And here it's something like $10, which is probably means it's something even less in the States. Oh yeah. And it's like a wine spritzer in a bottle, and it is delicious and it is perfect. And it's only 10% alcohol, I think, or 11. It's low in alcohol. And it's on a hot day, it's absolutely lovely. And you can't beat the price for that. Like it's the perfect summer thing. Like you don't even need to mix anything with it. You can slice some fruit in it even if you want, but it's so delicious. Yeah. For something like a little pool gathering. And if you're by the pool, you can use silicone glasses or plastic glasses even, because you don't have glass in there, but don't get the stemless ones.
Oh.
Any stemless glass, don't use stemless glasses.
Why is that?
Isn't it because you like warm it up?
When you hold the wine with your hand, the heat from your hand warms up the wine. And it changes the flavor of it.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that.
I learned that in a wine class in France.
Do you have any favorite white wines for spring and summer?
Like the Vinho Verde. For summer, I mean, white and rosé for summer is kind of the standard. Sparkling is also great, but I like to go kind of outside the beaten path in terms of white wines and varietals, especially for summer when you're looking for something like fresh and refreshing. There's a grape varietal from Greece called Moscofilero and another one called Assyrtiko. And Assyrtiko, they specialize in Santorini. And it's very it's lemony, citrusy, zesty, but it's also got like a little bit of a salty note. It's really, really interesting. Whereas Moscofilero is aromatic and it's got florals and it kind of smells like honeysuckle and peaches. And it's just absolutely to die for. And because they're not very well known, they tend to be a lot more affordable and a little harder to find probably, but well worth it.
What are your takes on sangria?
I love sangria, but you gotta use the right wine for sangria.
What is the right wine?
If you can find an unoaked red wine, any red wine that's not oaked is just going to be pure fruit, and that's going to blend really well with all the other fruititos. Like we've got this one from Lebanon, and it's pure Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay,
unoaked. Cabernet Sauvignon is known for blackcurrant, so it smells like blackcurrant, like Ribena. And this is literally all you get. It's so delicious. So that's a great sangria wine.
Oh.
Is it harder to find an unoaked Cabernet Sauvignon?
It is, just because the consumer palate has kind of been trained on, especially in the States, the Cabernet, like California cabs are like big, oaky.
They're big, yeah.
Juicy. They're big. I don't think a lot of producers do an unoaked, but I'm sure there are. And then in the States, like your Pinots vary from Burgundian style in Oregon to more like purple.
If you're looking for it to say unoaked, would it say it on the front of the label? Or would you have to like flip it over to the back and read the description? Or do you have to go online?
My recommendation to novice people, ask whoever's working in the store.
Oh, that's good to know.
You would hope that wherever you go, there's someone there that knows at least something that they're selling. I know like Total Wine and Spirits. I know they have some pretty knowledgeable consultants there. Yeah. And the supermarket that we go to when we're down in Florida, Plum Market, they have an absolutely wonderful staff there that works their wine section. They have one of the best wine sections I've ever seen in any grocery store with some of the best prices. It's kind of surprising, but there's someone there that actually lovingly curates it. So usually if there's someone there like that, they will know.
If you are a wine expert in a grocery store, is that considered like a sommelier because it's in like the food and beverage segment, or would that be more of a wine expert because it's more like?
It depends on the store. Like for someone at the at Plum Market was, I think they've got some education, they've got some background, and I would assume Total Wine and Spirits would have some kind of training for their staff. But for a lot of other stores, the staff get training from the reps that sell them the wine. So they're not necessarily wine experts; they're just experts in what they carry.
Got it.
So, and it's, I mean, as a wine agent that sells wine to restaurants and stores, it's kind of my job to like help train the staff.
Okay.
Because it makes their job easier. And if I want them to sell my product, I need them to know my product. And I need them to know it like I know it. So
say it's like this beautiful Italian restaurant. Like, how do you decide what wine goes into each restaurant? Is it based on the menu? Is it based on the season? What does that look like?
Usually we'll do a little bit of research. We'll look at their prices. We'll look at their menu. We'll see what they have. For example, our Franciacorta, it's an easy sell just because as soon as people try it, they're like, oh my God, this is mind blowing. I have to have it. But we look at the price list, and, there's some restaurants that kind of keep things on a more affordable level.
Mm-hmm.
We went to an Italian restaurant that had a small wine list, and like this restaurant's been around forever, and they're like, our clientele comes here, like they drink the same thing every day. They like the only sparkling they know is Veuve Clicquot, and like this is what we have, and like they don't want to know anything else. Like it's they're not kind of they don't know what Franciacorta is, and they don't want to know. It's kind of, it helps usually like wine geeks, wine bottle shops. That we have here now, kind of new in Toronto, like wine bars. You usually have people that are looking for something that's like new. So that's why every time we send them kind of our portfolio list, they're like, oh, Lebanon, you have Lebanon. Like, of course, the wine geeks want Lebanon. Like the wine geeks don't care about, like a sparkling from Alsace. Like, yeah, what else is new? Like, oh, Lebanon. Nobody knows Lebanon. Like, yeah. They want to kind of have that value where you can come in and try something that you've never heard of. And like, that's what you expect from a wine bar, to have something like eclectic. But whereas kind of your old school Italian restaurants, that's where you have your like Chianti, Prosecco, nothing else. So you have to do a little bit of research.
How do you pair wine with food?
It's fairly straightforward once you kind of get the hang of it. But the easiest way to think of it is the weight and kind of the balance. Is the food heavy? Like, then the wine might need to be a little bit heavier. Like, is the food light? If it's a salad, then you might have like a little bit of a lighter wine, like a Pinot Grigio. If you're having like a big steak, like you might need something like a big wine to stand up to that steak. But if you're having maybe like a salmon, like that can go, like rosé, that can go Pinot Noir, even like a big white. Like it's kind of like the weight of the food against the weight of the wine. The only exception, I guess, sparkling. Sparkling pairs with everything. You can have sparkling with absolutely everything. Sparkling goes great with fried foods. So like champagne and French fries, amazing. Because the acidity and the bubbles, they kind of wash away the grease and they refresh your palate every time. Like champagne and potato chips, amazing. Popcorn, great. The only pairing that could be a little bit tricky is dessert, because your wine needs to be sweeter than your dessert, because otherwise your wine is going to taste bitter. If your dessert is sweeter than the wine, then your wine's going to taste acidic. It's going to taste bitter. Like if you have like a really dense chocolate cake, you might need to go with like a port, something that's even sweeter than that cake. Thanksgiving is a mishmash because you have so many different flavors and so many different palates. You're going to have to go with something that complements more the weight of the food than the flavor profiles, just because there's so much going on.
That's good to know. So like typically, like if I have a dinner party and it's like fall or winter, I only will do like a red wine, right? Like I'll do like a Pinot Noir or something. But now I know like I should have a whole buffet of wine.
I like to start with a little bubbly to get things going. And then you have a white with appetizers, a red with mains, and then something sweet with dessert.
I'm coming to your
Oh,
next party.
I
Olga.
know. What's your address?
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
joking.
come on down.
I have a question. How do you know if wine is good?
Well, does it taste good? Is the first question. If it tastes off, like, because you know if it tastes good, it might be good. If it doesn't taste good, okay, then you kind of have to like think about where the wine is from. Is it supposed to taste like this? If it doesn't taste good to you, well, maybe then don't drink it. You just don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, why would you drink something that doesn't taste good? But there are some wines that, like Northern Rhone Syrah, will have like notes of like raw meat and forest floor and barnyard and like these
Ooh.
funky notes. Oh yeah, some people love this.
It's like a blue cheese.
Yeah, kind of like that, like the barnyard notes. Like I have a friend who loves wine like this. Like, oh, the funkier the better. There's certain kind of notes that give away that a wine's actually been stored improperly, or it's not in the best condition. Like wet cardboard, that kind of musty, like attic smell that could mean the wine's corked. That means just the cork is faulty and too much oxygen has been let in. If it's way too acidic and it kind of like has a vinegary taste, like also spoiled, it's not good. I mean, wine should be kept generally stored lying down, not standing up, especially if you're keeping it for a long time, just because the cork just needs to be kept moist with the wine. Because if the cork dries out, it shrinks and then more oxygen gets in, ages your wine faster, wine spoils faster. And then obviously keep it out of direct light, not next to your radiator, not in sunlight, not in rooms like this room. Kind of, I have to move all wines out of here by around April, May, because we have big windows here and it heats up so much in the summer. And I don't want any wines getting even remotely warm. We're very picky about that. So like you'll taste it, you'll know. Like if it's fresh, if it tastes fresh, if it tastes balanced, if kind of like the fruity notes are there, if you're tasting fruit, if you're tasting kind of freshness, then it's good. And if it doesn't taste good, don't drink it.
Don't drink it. I feel like there's a lot of times where you go to the store and you're like, I don't know what to buy. And you mentioned something when we first met that said, wine is an individual experience.
It is. Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
Different people will taste different things in the same wine. A lot of the times, if somebody says like, oh, I taste peaches, you'll go like, oh yeah, like I can also taste peaches. And then someone will say like, oh no, but I smell gasoline. And then be like, I don't get that. I don't get the gasoline. By the way, Riesling, that's one way to tell, petrol. So how a wine tastes to you might not be the way it tastes to somebody else. So if you don't like it and they love it, like, that's fine. Like, there's other wines,
your own
there's other wines to
buds.
try, there's other wines to like. And the only way to know is to kind of try a few different ones, see what you like. Like, I have a friend who loves like the funky barnyard wines. I'm like, that's not my thing. Like, I prefer some fruit in my reds. I prefer fruity reds. Whites are a different story. I do like funky whites. But again, that's not everybody's cup of tea. But I had to try a lot of wines to get here and a lot of wines to kind of figure out what grape varietal I like. And then different countries make different grape varietals taste differently just because of their soils, their climates. Like, it affects the grapes differently. So for example, Chenin Blanc, absolutely fantastic grape varietal. It's delicious. So Loire Valley in France, oh, amazing Chenin. But then South Africa is also known for their Chenin Blancs. They taste completely different, but they're both great in their own way. And then kind of you figure out if you like, for example, if someone tells me that a white wine has notes of like honey and quince, anything with quince, oh, pour it. Not everybody might like that. So you figure out which notes you like, which wines you like, try a few different ones. Like it's kind of it's a little bit of like a trying exercise. But that's how you know. And it's kind of it's fun. I had friends that they hosted a Spanish wine night and they tried kind of like their thing was like all the girls brought a bunch of like different Spanish wines to try, like reds, whites, rosés. And they asked me for kind of some suggestions. I was like, oh, throw in a sherry, throw in like a Fino sherry and this, like that'll just blow people's minds because it's so weird. But the key is just to try and see if you like it.
All right. I have like an embarrassing story, kind of a real life. It might help some people listening. Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry. She's gonna die from humiliation. All right, so my mother and my husband and myself, we're in Spain. We are at dinner and we order a bottle. I don't know what it was, some kind of red wine. And so he brings it over, he uncorks it, and he gives it to me to taste. And I try it, and I was like, I don't like it. And he just looked at me and he was like, okay. And I was like, I mean, I and then we just kind of like stared at each other, and then he like took it back. And then the manager comes over to the table and he goes, well, you know, we don't usually do this. Like, you're trying it, whether it's bad or not whether you like it or not. But then I was like, oh, okay. And like, we were so embarrassed. And he's like, I'll change it this time. But like, we're like, we felt like that American, like so uncultured. Is that like true? Like, what is the etiquette behind this?
The etiquette is if a customer doesn't like the wine, they have to take it back.
There you go, Mom. See, there was no shame in our game.
Absolutely no shame in your game. You did absolutely right. Yeah. Like, obviously they don't like it, but they should have done a better job of describing the wine for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting to know, because I always wondered when they bring over a bottle and then they're like, taste it. I'm like, I always have liked it because I'm primarily choosing something that I'm familiar with. Yeah. But I always wondered that, like, what if you don't like it?
But so if you're choosing something that you're familiar with over something else that you could possibly try, like, it's his job to tell you that you're like, I want to try something new. Tell me about these wines. Like, they have to tell you. And they should be able to tell you because they should know that wine list inside out. And if you try it and you don't like it, well, then that's kind of on them. Then they didn't recommend something that you conveyed that you would like. Because they're going to ask you, like, what kind of wines do you like? And then based on what you described, they'll tell you, okay, we've got this and this and this. They have to do it. The customer's right. Like, why would you pay for something that you don't like? You're absolutely
What
right.
happens to the bottle if you...
They could do it like they will serve it by the glass.
So it's not a total waste.
No, not at all. No, they have to find a way to use it.
That's good to know. Like, I would feel bad, but now I wouldn't. I have another etiquette question since we're on the subject. So I'm at a dinner party, and what I notice is there'll always be one bottle of wine open. And say it's like a white Pinot. And I'm like, meh, I don't want that. Is it rude if you're at someone's house to ask, well, do you have other bottles of wine? Or like, what's the etiquette when you're throwing a party? Are you supposed to have varietal out? Are you supposed to just drink what's open? Like, I've always wanted to know this.
It's a tough question just because, like, if you have just one wine open, like, and if someone doesn't like it, like, yeah, I would expect, like, at least offer like a white or a red, or at least offer like some other drinks. Like, it is expected to have something that every guest will want to drink. I don't know if that's kind of
your rule. Yeah.
My rule, or like a spoiled opinion, because obviously, I mean, I have a buffet. you name it, I've got it. But it's kind of like you want your guests to drink what they like.
Yeah.
I mean, the safest solution to that problem is always bring something with you. Yeah. Like, you can always have it as a hostess gift. Like, bring a hostess gift.
There you go.
Bring a bottle of wine that you actually like. And then if they only have one bottle open, be like, hey, do you mind if I open my bottle? Like,
so that was my next question, because I'm that person that shows up to the house with a bottle of wine, but I open up my bottle of wine when I get there. And James is always like, you're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, I brought it for me. Okay. Like this
Well, if
wasn't
there's
like a
nothing else
house
to drink-
gift. This was like me. Right. It was BYO wine. Okay. Like, but then now I've had this chip on my shoulder that if I have to bring 2 bottles of wine because I might want to open one. So it is adequately okay for me to bring my wine and then open my wine if I see that there's not a selection that's open that I want to drink.
Exactly.
That's not rude.
If they're not offering anything else that you want to drink, just be like, do you mind if I like open this for everybody? Maybe someone else might want to have some. Like, you're not like, this is mine. I'm just going to
Right.
put it in the
Like
corner.
I'll share it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Depending on what's on your counter. Thanks, James. I feel like Camille and I are having like mercy. Like, oh,
I think it's a very diplomatic solution to an awkward situation, that if you're not finding anything there that you're drinking, like.
But I think it's also good to know, like, I feel like if you are hosting, you want to have, like, you naturally want to make people happy. And so I think it's good to now have this note in your head, like, okay, like I like this, but not everyone's going to. Like we just talked about, everyone tastes wine differently.
Yeah.
Maybe have a selection out and allow people. Because I feel like in at least like the culture around me, it's like you just drink what's open and you feel rude if you want to open up another bottle of wine. So this heals some wounds. For me.
No, life's too short to drink what you don't drink.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you're being very polite about it. Like, you're not inconveniencing anybody.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Can you tell us your opinion on orange wine?
Ugh.
I'm seeing it pop up more and more. I'm seeing it everywhere.
Today's episode is brought to you by Make Mementos, the perfect way to keep your loved ones close no matter where life takes you. If you're like me, you are constantly juggling work, school runs, trying to keep up with family across the country, sometimes even miles away. Well, I've got something incredible to share with you today. It's called Make Mementos, and it's about to revolutionize the way you connect with your loved ones. Picture this: grandma, grandpa, they're living their best life in Florida. Wouldn't it be amazing for them to send your little one something that truly makes them feel close? Make Mementos lets you record personalized ebooks and e-cards using your own voice and send them instantly to anyone, anywhere. And it's not just for grandparents. Whether you're a military parent stationed overseas or just want to share a special moment with your best friend's new baby, or even record your child reading their first book to save that memory forever, Make Mementos is the perfect way to make every occasion memorable. And here is the best part: there's no shipping involved. No complicated video chats to schedule. Just record your message, hit send, and let Make Memento work its magic. And for the entire month of May, Make Mementos has given us 15% off a recordable ebook or e-card with the code MOMLOVE24. That's MOMLOVE24 for 15% off a recordable ebook or e-card, and expires on May 31st at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Head over to makemementos.com today and start spreading love and joy with the power of your voice. Make every moment count with Make Mementos.
What orange wine is white wine that's fermented with the skins on. Usually white wine is just drained is pure juice. It's not the sticks and stems and seeds and skins. It all gets filtered out. But this is white wine that's fermented with their skins. And it gives it more of a funkier, cloudier look. And I have to say, nobody in the kind of wine circles or anyone who actually likes wine, I don't know anybody that actually has studied wine and knows wine that actually likes orange wine. And I'm sure there's a few out there that are good. We have yet to come across any of them. I would never order it just because it's not like it tastes like, what does it kind of taste like? It reminds me of almost like a fruity white beer. Mm. It has that kind of like pungent kind of acidity to it. And I think it became trendy. I know like my sister's younger. My sister's in like her early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, that crowd. A few years ago, they were all about the orange wine. And I think just because like they think it's like healthier somehow.
Yes, that's what I read, that it's like more metabolic.
Yeah, that's like
Interesting.
that it's more somehow more natural in that way, whereas like it's not.
Yeah.
They don't really know. So like I guess I don't know how they're choking it down and thinking that it's like good for them somehow. It's a fad.
Can you tell us the difference between white wine and red wine?
So white wine comes from white grapes. Red wine comes from red grapes. White wine is fermented without the skins, whereas red wine is. That's where it gets the color.
Oh, okay.
Red wine is usually oak aged in oak barrels. There's different kinds of oak as well. There's American oak that gives more of like coconut toasty notes, whereas French oak gives more vanilla notes. There's white wines that are also aged in oak that gives them more body, also more complexity, more structure. A lot of California Chardonnays oak aged, and that gives them kind of that buttery, oaky, that like typical California Chardonnay profile. But also like a lot of French wines are aged in obviously French oak. They don't do American oak. Some white wines can be quite big and quite powerful and quite alcoholic. Like we've had white wines that are like 14, 15%. Whereas red wines also can vary in terms of flavor profile, but the starts with white grapes, red grapes.
Do you know anything about, there's like a shop in my in Jacksonville that sells only organic wine. Do you know anything about organic wine?
Oh yeah.
I bought a couple bottles, and to me it lacks like that punch, like the tannins. Is that because of how it's developed? It was just that wine. Okay.
Organic, just as with anything that's organic has a very broad meaning. Organic can mean anything. It can start with like no pesticides. It can like, it depends on like this only this portion can be organic. For it to be like labeled as organic, you need to have certain criteria that it meets. And it's the same as with food. Like organic can mean a very broad term of things. So it's not really to do with how the grapes are grown. It's usually to do with pest control. So that they're not sprayed with pesticides. They're usually used like kind of a natural, they use like fans or something to kind of drive the pests away so that there's nothing kind of in the soils. And that's usually with what organic means. Whereas biodynamic is a whole other thing. Biodynamic, a lot of people confuse that and they think it's also like very healthy. Biodynamic, they can actually, I mean, they prefer not to, but some of them do use pesticides, but it also follows like kind of the moon cycle and harvesting around certain periods and kind of being more in tune with like the earth, like particularly moon cycles. So not necessarily organic or healthier for you, but it's just a trendy kind of term, biodynamic wines. Organic, it shouldn't affect the taste of the wine. Like we sell a bunch of wines that are organic, and it's just how they're grown, how the grapes are grown in terms of processing, in terms of how they're harvested. Like that doesn't change anything.
So like people say that they get less of a hangover with organic wine. Is that a myth?
Myth, complete myth. Absolute myth. Biodynamic wines, organic wines are going to give you the same hangover. Sulfites. A lot of people blame sulfites for the hangover. So they say like, oh, sulfites. So sulfites are a naturally occurring thing. Like a lot of the foods we eat have sulfites. A lot of dairy products have sulfites. And it became this kind of trendy term in terms of wine. Like wine will naturally have sulfites in it. And a lot of people think like, oh, it's the sulfites that give me the hangover. It's like, well, no. The hangover likely comes from red wine more than white wine. Red wine was more likely to give you a bad hangover because of the tannins. Because tannins, you know how they have that grippy sensation in your mouth? How that kind of they drying the tightening, that like that's tannin.
Yes.
So tannin does that everywhere. Tannin does that to your nostrils. Like My husband's forbidden from drinking red wine too late at night because he will snore like a rusty chainsaw. And it constricts blood vessels. So that's why you have the pounding headache. If you get anything dark spirits, dark wine, like the darker it is, the worse your hangover is going to be if you drink too much of it.
Oh, that's interesting to know.
Yeah, it's the tannins, not the sulfites.
I also see marketed like low sugar, which I have always been confused about because grapes have so much sugar. But then you read it's like between 600 to 800 grapes in a bottle of wine, but then it's low sugar. And I'm like, I'm so confused by this. Can you educate us on that?
How grapes become wine is during the fermentation process, the yeast eats the sugar that's in the grape juice, and then they convert that sugar to alcohol. So depending on where you stop the fermentation process. So once that fermentation process starts, that's when the yeast starts eating the sugar. So how you get sweeter wines is you stop the fermentation early before the yeast have eaten all the sugar. So that's why a lot of sweeter wines tend to have low alcohol, is because there's still more sugar left that the yeast hasn't converted to alcohol. So that's why when you have, for example, grapes from really hot regions like California, like Lebanon, their grapes are naturally going to be sweeter because they're riper. They're in a hot climate. And so when the yeast eat the sugar, there's a lot more sugar in that wine. That's why they make more alcohol. That's why those wines are like 15, 16%, is because they come from a hot climate where the grapes get riper. The grapes have more sugar. So the yeast have more sugar to eat. And so they make more alcohol. So wines that are low sugar, it just means that they're dry. That means that they've completed a full fermentation process. There's very little to no sugar left for the yeast to eat, like the alcohol has been converted. But there are some wines that are like, even like sparkling wines are like a demi-sec or like a medium sweet. And that's just because the fermentation has been stopped earlier. Like a late harvest Riesling can be on the sweeter side. So that's just the when wines say they're low sugar, like a lot of the times that can be like a marketing tactic.
Yeah, that always confuses me. So basically it's the drier the wine, if I'm understanding, the less sugar.
So some stores will have on their label, like not the wines. The wines usually don't put the sugar on the label, but stores will usually have amount of sugar per liter. So anything under 10 grams of sugar per liter is going to be dry. Like, or even like sparkling wines, sometimes can have like 2-3 grams of sugar, like bone dry. But if you have something like 15, 20, you're kind of going into like slightly sweet territory. Like not overly sweet, but like you'll feel a little bit of that sweetness there, residual sweetness.
How do you read a wine label?
Depends from where. Certain producers that have now started putting a lot of information on their labels. It depends from like, if it's California wine, like German wine labels are notoriously difficult. French wine labels, like in France, you kind of have to know the French wine regions. Like they kind of force you to know, because they don't put the grape varietal on the label. They assume that, because of what region it is, that's what grape varietals are permitted there. So kind of the French system has, for example, Burgundy, like the white in Burgundy is Chardonnay. The red in Burgundy is Pinot Noir. So if it's a red wine from Burgundy, you have to assume it's Pinot Noir. And if it's a white, like if it's a Merceau, then Chardonnay. Same with all the other regions. So like they don't put the grape varietals there, assuming that you know what grape varietals because of what region it's from. So it's very tricky to kind of navigate like Northern Rhone versus Alsace and versus like Bordeaux, left bank, right bank Bordeaux. So it's kind of tricky to read French wine.
Yeah.
Same thing with Barolo, like Italy. You also have to know, like, so Barolo, you're going to have Nebbiolo, you're going to have like what the Chianti, depending on where it comes from. Thankfully, in North America, we put our grape varietals front and center. So at least that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, some wine labels, you always ask.
Yeah, I was
Always
going to say, I'm learning that like I typically am like the basic person that'll be like, that's a cool label. Like, and I'll turn it around and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means, but this looks good. And then I try it. I either like it or I
Yeah,
don't.
or do that. Try it, see if you like it. If you can find the grape varietal on there, even better, because then you'll know what kind of grape varietal you like.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
good to
find it
know.
elsewhere and see kind of different variations of it, because California Chardonnay and French Chardonnay, very different.
So when I was pregnant, I saw now that there's a lot of different brands that are starting to make alcohol-free wine. How do you feel about alcohol-free wine?
So I've heard from friends that live in Europe that there are a few that are actually pretty good. The few that I tried in Ontario tasted like abominable garbage. The thing with non-alcoholic wine is if you're trying to replicate something that tastes like real wine, there's certain things you have to make up for. Like you have to make up for the weight of the alcohol, and you usually add more sugar just to kind of balance out, like it's just the weight, because otherwise it's just going to taste like juice. You need a little bit more heft in that. And so you kind of have to make up for that with added sugar, and that'll immediately throw the taste right off. Like I tried, there's a red and a white that I tried. Like the white was better than the red. Like it still kind of smelled like wine. It's still kind of like, it tasted like a bad white wine, but in a pinch, if you're really like, oh dear God, like, oh, I need to remember what it was like when I could still drink, like it'll do. But the red smelled and tasted like a wine that had been left open for like 2 weeks in the sun. It was, like it just, they haven't gotten it down yet. But there's been a few sparklings that have been able to mimic kind of the Prosecco style, just because Prosecco is a little bit on the sweeter side. You can kind of balance it out a little bit. But like low alcohol and no alcohol wines, I know it's a big kind of upcoming market. I fully support it, but you have to like find the balance and how to do it right.
I found a really good brand for like, it was like a champagne type taste. I'll have to like, it's in my fridge. I always have it just in case someone's pregnant and they're over, or someone that doesn't drink alcohol is over. But I did try the champagne one and I was like, okay, this one tastes good. But some of the others, I was like, no.
No, they're either too acidic, they're either too sweet, they're either like, they just can't get the balance right. Sparkling is easier. We have one sparkling here. I think it's actually, I don't know if it's local, but I've seen it kind of in all the grocery stores now, and it's absolutely fantastic. I can send you a link to that as well if maybe it's coming to the States. It's perfect, delicious.
So for like anyone who's kind of intimidated by wine, I mean, do you really have to know like, oh, this tastes, like the flavor profiles? I mean, do you just have to like enjoy it? Does it really matter?
Yeah, enjoy it. Oh my God. Absolutely. Like, I mean, if you're interested in wine, you want to know more about wine, you want to try more, take a pause, kind of like take your glass, smell it first, like see what you smell. Like everybody always says is like, oh, it just smells like wine. But like start thinking of fruit. Like this is this is not going to smell like red fruit because it's white. Like think of like, is this going to smell like apple? Is this going to smell like peaches? Is it going to smell like lemons? Like think of like the same kind of color category. Smell, like see what you smell. Like do you smell flowers? Do you smell this? Like start smelling things and be like, oh, okay. Like I think I smell apple. Like, is it golden apple? Is it green apple? Like, and then taste it and see if kind of the smell follows through. Just kind of like be more aware of what you're drinking. Figure out what you like, figure out what you can smell. Always like feel free to ask anyone if you want to try something new, like in a store, in a restaurant, like always ask, especially in restaurants. I know Psalms love when people try something new and that they can recommend something. Like how we started working with our Lebanese supplier this was like way back when I was living in London. There was a Psalm at a restaurant we used to go to a lot. He was this young guy and he had like a brilliant palate. I completely trusted him. I'm like, whatever, like bring me something. Like, I trust you. Bring me something that you like. And he's like, he brought me this Lebanese white wine. He's like, this is going to blow your mind. And it did, because 10 years later, I was still thinking about it. And like, as soon as we started our own agency, I emailed them. I'm like, I've been thinking about your wine for 10 years. Like, please come back with us. So like, tell them, like, bring me something. Like, I'm open to trying something new. Like, this is what I like. This is what kind of the kind of the ballpark I'm in. Like, what do you have? Let me try something new. They usually like that. And if you don't like it, you can send it back.
I think some people are going to feel seen. So I'm just going to ask it. So you're at a restaurant, going back to Camilla's example, and they bring the wine to you, and then they pour you a little bit of the wine. I turn into like a very insecure turtle where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, and it's like, do you like, I feel like I'm supposed to like smell it, twirl it, drink it. I'm just so awkward during this moment. Can you please explain to us so that we all can learn what the hell you're supposed to do when you take that first sip of wine? Like, you were just kind of like getting to it, like smell it and enjoy it. You know, like, can you tell us what to do quickly and like why you're doing it so that we all can like heal our restaurant wounds and be confident?
Trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, so they'll pour you a little bit. Usually like this is where like I'll show like my wine geek colors, and I'll like stick my nose in like super deep, and like, and I'll do like a swirl, like
yeah,
and then like take a deep sniff again. And usually like I'll just sniff it and then I'll be like, it's good. Yeah, it's fine. But they expect you to actually like taste it to confirm that it's good. So, I mean, like, you don't have to like swirl it if you don't want to, or if you need practice swirling, like, or like you can always swirl like holding your glass like on the table. Just give it a little swirl, because that opens up the aromas, because it gives it more air.
Okay.
So you can put the glass down, do it like a little swirl, and then smell. Does it smell good? If it smells like musty cardboard, like, then maybe be like, I think this might be a little off.
Okay.
If it smells fresh and if it smells a little fruity, like, okay, good. Give it a sip. If you enjoy it, be like, fantastic. I'll have it.
That's
I'll be
so
like,
good to know.
If there's something that seems off about it, don't be afraid to speak up. Like, if it doesn't smell like you want it to smell or you expect it to smell, like, this might be a little off. Like, there's something off about it. I've sent wine back. I've had wine that was corked. I've had wine that was like mildly corked, and they were just kind of like shocked that I picked up on it. But I'm like, I can smell the cardboard, dude. Like, I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm like, I know what this wine's supposed to smell like. I know what it's supposed to taste like, and that's not it.
How many bad bottles have you ever received at a restaurant?
Not that many. No. Although after my pregnancy, my palate was like all over the place.
Oh, interesting.
I poured out a bunch of bottles because I was convinced that they were corked, because they smelled bad to me, because it completely messed with my palate. It completely messed it up. I was like, oh, this wine's terrible.
You're like pouring it all out.
And it was like, I was looking forward to this glass after like so many months. This is one glass I can have before like breastfeeding. I'm like, okay, I got to time it right.
Yeah.
And like, oh no, it's corked. And like, my husband's like, it smells fine to me. No, it's bad. It's bad.
Did it ever go back, or?
It came back. My palate finally came back.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. But not after I failed one of the level 4 tasting exams.
Wow.
So like this, like, New Zealand? Like, okay, I'm putting it down. And then like, fail.
How many months postpartum did it come back?
It took about 8 or 9 months.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that kind of average? Do you know? Like, do you talk to other?
I honestly don't know. I feel like it's because I couldn't really, like, alcohol was one of the things that, like, when I was pregnant, we had to do a bunch of wine tastings. And I'm like, guys, I'm useless. I'm like, the minute I smell it, all I smell is alcohol. It was one of those things that like I turned on.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like, oh, like if only I could have a glass of wine. Like I didn't, like it was something that kind of repulsed me a little bit. So it took a while to come back from that. So I know that like you're allowed to have some wine when you're pregnant. You're allowed to have a little bit. And some people like enjoy that. But it was something that my nose just couldn't handle.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. And it was just like, how do I tell the exam people that like, I was pregnant. Now I can't taste wine anymore. But thankfully it came back.
I've learned so much today. Do you have any other questions for her, Kimmy?
No. I do want her to come back though, because I want to do like you and I have a tasting.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
she can
we
like
could do like a whole wine tasting.
Yeah,
where people can go to the grocery store and get the wines and then come back and do a tasting and a pairing. That would be fun.
Oh, yes. Like I'm telling you, my first wine class, that's what we did. And like it was just literally tasting a bunch of different wines every week and just kind of going through it, seeing who smells what, who tastes what. There's no wrong answers.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, oh, I didn't know it can smell like this. And like you find examples of wines where you can actually like, it's easy to smell this. Like one of my husband's favorite wines is Riesling, because one of the first times we had it together, he's like, green apple. That's right. My green apple. He's like, oh, I get this now. Like, so once you kind of get your first, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be smelling. Like, this is kind of like, this is what I'm looking for. Once you get past the, like, it smells like wine thing. You get past that first barrier and you start picking out the notes, then you can kind of find what you like, what you enjoy, what you think would go with this in terms of food. Like it becomes really easy after that.
Yeah, I feel like too, it's probably like you're in your head because, or at least for me, maybe I'm just talking for myself. I know I'm talking for a lot of bitches. You are getting that glass of wine. You don't know what the hell to do. And you just want to look like you know what you're doing. Yeah. And then you're not actually paying attention to what you're doing. So now I feel like I can confidently go into a restaurant and say, no, I'm going to smell my wine.
Smell. If you want to look like you know what you're doing, always smell your wine.
Smell the wine. I'm going to set it on the table, swip it, drink it, and say, fabulous.
Smell again.
Smell again. Ugh. I'm so excited. I'm like, so my birthday is next week. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
I will be going out and I will be ordering a bottle of wine.
There you go.
And I'm going to practice this and video it for you.
Ooh.
Awesome. I'm very excited.
I mean, all you want to do is be confident, right? When you're going out and you want to look good, feel good.
No shame in asking. There's these people are there for a reason, and ask away, because that's how you learn.
Yeah, I love that.
If they see that you want to learn, they're more than happy to help you.
Awesome. Do you have like a final piece of advice to lay on us?
Drink what you like.
Love it.
Drink
Simple.
what you like. Yeah.
Drink what you like.
Drink what you like. If you want to put ice in your wine, go for it. If you want to drink sangria, if that's all the wine you can handle, do it. Enjoy it. As long as you enjoy what you're drinking, because I mean, as we get older and as, parents and kids and life gets a little crazier, you can't afford the 20 something hangovers anymore. Like it's quality over quantity. And just, you have to, if you're drinking a glass, make sure you enjoy it.
What about if it's orange wine?
Hey, if you love it, go for it.
Just kidding.
You do you, boo.
You do you, boo. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come out. We're definitely going to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to hopefully work with you again. Maybe we'll do a wine tasting later this year. But this was such a great conversation. Awesome. Well, thank you, Olga.
Thank you, Olga.
Excellent. Have a good evening, ladies, and cheers.
Cheers.
Women need to empower women, and our voice matters.
Bitch.